It's 5 o'clock in the morning. So there's 2 tests that I need to take today, and the first one I've studied a little bit for, but the second I haven't. Right now I'm going to finish studying for exam number 1 so then I can take it right when the testing center opens and then take the second one in the afternoon. So we'll see how this goes. So normally I would have been studying the entire semester up until this point, but sometimes you procrastinate. So right now I'm going to take test number 1. So this place opens in like 5 minutes. Uh-oh. Okay, so I just finished my test. When I went up there, I had to stash my board. Let's see if it's still here. There it is. All right, it is 9:35 in the morning. I just finished number 1, and now I need to start studying for exam number 2 that has to be done by tonight. So this is in a class that I haven't gone to yet this semester. I've never gone to class. I've never done any of like assignments for it or studied it all or even like looked at any of the information I need to know. So I thought this was a good example of a test where you don't really know what's going on, and in a really short amount of time you have to learn everything you need to know and do the best you can on the exam.
Yeah, dude, no problem.
What are the strategies to, if you had to study for a test in one day and you like hadn't done nothing the whole semester and just had to cram, what's like your go-to cramming strategy?
The mindset is key. You just own it and you're like, well, I'm not where I need to be, but I can get where I need to be, and I'm gonna own this test. And you just go for it, and you just hit all the basics, you hit the superficial stuff, and then if you have time, you can dive in deeper. But a lot of people get stuck like going into the nitty-gritty of stuff, and there's just too much stuff to do that for a whole semester. So dope. I ride my bike and it takes me like 5 hours.
Okay, so the real strategy with studying for this test is going to be 1, identifying all the stuff I actually need to know, and 2, remembering all of the stuff for at least like an hour so I can actually take the test. Okay. So in this situation, what I have to do is identify anything that I think I might need to know or that is going to be on the test, learn all of those things, and then build around that with whatever other time I have. And so identify the key high yield points, go for those first. So thankfully this professor has all of the PowerPoints from the lectures. And so I can go back, there's 9 of them, and these 9 lectures, I'm going to take each of the PowerPoints and draw out as much information as I can to get the context of the information I need to know. At this point, it's less about really understanding the information on a deep conceptual level, which can take some time, and much more about understanding at least the surface level of all the topics I'm supposed to know, enough so that I can reason through questions about them. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up these slides and go through and look at a couple things. The first thing I want to see is how much volume is there, how many slides are there. It looks like there's 211 of these slides, and they all have bullet points. It looks like 3 to 7-ish bullet points. We have a lot of pictures, certain things. So I do know that this class is, while I haven't gone to this class yet, I probably should have, I know a couple things about it. It's all about aging and how adults age over the lifespan and the biological changes and the social changes associated with that. And so I know the general context of the class, but a lot of this, mostly probably all of it, will be brand new to me. And so I'm seeing patterns as far as what information is being presented. And the biggest thing to note is what kind of content is being delivered through this medium. What is being said. And it appears that a lot of it is factual, that I'm seeing a lot of numbers, a lot of statistics, a lot of facts. And these are the things that I'm going to want to know. And those things that are bolded, definitions, we have some of those. It seems really, really straightforward as far as the things I should know. The depth as to how I should know each of these things is a little bit vague because I don't know if I have to know further than what's presented in the slides. But the first thing I want to do is get myself familiar with all of the terms in this, all of the terms and all of the concepts in this PowerPoint, all of these combined PowerPoints together to determine what things are going to be most beneficial, pull out those things, memorize them, connect them together, and be able to clearly articulate what I know about each of the topics. That's going to be key to success. I can sacrifice not diving into the details on everything because I'm guessing that that's not going to be the entire test. That most of it, I'd say 80% plus of the test is going to be me knowing the content in here. And then the rest of that, I'm totally fine guessing on because I'm confident that I can get at least half of the stuff I guess on correct. And then, we're doing okay for only having studied for a few hours. So it's 10:24 a.m. right now, and in about 6 hours, I need to go back to the testing center to take this second exam. So because my time is so limited, I have to really critically analyze how my time will be best used and how I can maximize the amount of effort I'm putting into learning this stuff. So as I go through this, I'm taking notes on specific facts and specific things I think I need to remember or know and putting them directly into a flashcard so I can test myself to solidify what I'm learning. All right, so I finished all the flashcards, went back through the slides, and I'm feeling pretty good. I think that, it's just time to take it. We'll see how we do, and wish me luck. All right, we did it. We're done. Took the test. I think it went okay. So it was all multiple choice, and so I think that it should be graded already. Like they just run the Scantron, and then you get your score. So I'm gonna look and see how it went. All right. 98%. So I started this test at 2:30. I started studying at 10:30. So that's an insanely short amount of time. There were 98 questions. I think that the reason I was able to do so well is that I did exactly what Ethan said earlier today. He said just focus on the high level things, do everything you can around those, build your knowledge around those things, understand what they want you to know about those things, and then build from there. I think that's what allowed me to do it so quickly, is because I went and memorized, I put on flashcards all the things, all the concepts that were important for me to know, and then I went back and reread, restudied it with that in mind, having that base knowledge. And then, on the test, there's a lot of questions where I don't think I got the answer correct because I exactly knew the answer right off the bat, but I understood the concept and I had reviewed it to the point that I could figure it out without much difficulty because I had memorized the basic facts and then went back and connected those back to the things that actually helped me on the exam. So that is how I go through and study for exams in the last minute. I would much prefer to do it in a more drawn out longitudinal way, but sometimes you just get stuck in this cycle of cramming for one test after another, and that was one of those days today. So I'm glad that it was able to turn out well, and I hope that I don't have to do this again for a very long time because it is exhausting.
What'd you do?
It was good. 98.
You studied for like 3 hours. There you go, Dad. Yay!